It's a great battle right there. Satch's car in the number 4 is a little bit loose off the corner, and it looks like he's having to try to protect the inside, and Tim tried a shot on the outside in the middle of 1 and 2, and Jamie saw the door open and tried to get it inside of him, but just couldn't quite get a bite off the second turn.
Again, that's 11th, 12th, and 13th spot. Car number 4, Don Satchworley, Timmy Airy, car number 99 in 12th, and Tomato back in the U2 in 13th spot. Back up front, car number 3, Dougie Hebron trying to hold off. The challenge as Reggie Ruggiero now makes a move to the inside, but the spot has been covered by Randy Hedger. Randy involved in one of the early spins, and his car not up to speed, so he is a lap car now on the inside. Might mention that Mike Iwanitzko has parked his car number 36. They apparently broke one of the steering bolts, and they are unable to steer the car. Tough break for Mike. He was involved, a victim in one of the early spins. His car coming into contact with the front tires against another car that has spun, so he will have to park it for the day.
It looks like Reggie Ruggiero's car number 69 is really working well. On that low side of the racetrack, he's right down by the curb. His car seems like it really sticks well down there. If he could just get a little better run on the 3 of Doug Hebron, I think he could give Stefanik a run for the lead. But he just doesn't have quite the muscle down the straightaways to pull off a pass.
Brett Stefanik is running just a fraction over 20 seconds around this half-a-mile track. Is that pretty good at this stage of the race?
Well, it really is, Ned. It looks like he's settled into a pretty consistent pace, and I think that's what's giving the rest of the guys a little bit of trouble. They might be possibly a little quicker than Mike on a restart or for a few laps, but he's able to run so consistent that he seems to be able to stretch out to about a 3 or 4 car length lead.
Reggie Ruggiero has been awfully strong in the 4 events this year, but they have encountered engine trouble in at least 2 of them. In fact, he finished 6th here in the opener this year with had a broken rocker arm. Finished 5th up in New Hampshire, again with a broken rocker arm. Today's purse, almost $49,000, $48,915. That is part of the $1.6 million that these NASCAR Winston modified drivers will be vying for this year on the Northern Tour. 24 events, 12 different tracks, traversing 7 states. This is the 5th stop on that 24-event tour. And now, as you said, it looks like possibly Ruggiero is trying to get the inside move. Just can't quite get the car hooked up yet, or get the shot coming off the corner. There's Jeff Fuller trying to move inside of Tom Bowles.
Oh, he got an excellent bite off the second turn and made a strong move going into 3. That was an excellent pass by Jeff Fuller, and he's on his way to the front. Believe me, he knows this racetrack. It's time for him to make a move just past 50 laps into the race.
Right now, he's running a little over 4.5 seconds behind the leader.
That's in 7th spot there. It's Fuller in the car number 8. Last lap, 94.16 miles an hour. So what does that put him on the straightaway, Brett? What kind of speed do they peak out here in the middle of the front stretch or back stretch?
Probably real close to 125 to 130 miles an hour as they enter the corners. And then I'll tell you, that's awfully quick considering how slow you slow these cars down in the middle of the corner. They accelerate extremely hard, and just a lot of fun to drive here at Martinsville.
Every one of the drivers says like strapping yourself to a bullet. These ground rockets here. And Jeff Fuller continuing to make his move, going around one of the lap cars of Randy Hedger. He is being shown in the 7th spot. He is trying to move in on Carl Pasteryak, the 6th place car, number 75. Dan Leedy in the car number 25 there.
There's George Brunholzel behind Leedy. He's having a good run. It looks like Fuller's about a half a straightaway behind the 6th place car of Carl Pasteryak, and I really feel like
there's trouble in turn 1.
Satchworley has spun up in turns 1 and 2 in the car number 4, and is back the car. It looked like he did not make contact with the wall, Ned.
I don't think he did, Jerry. He got to stop before he got to the wall. He's just trying to find a place in line so he can get going again in front of the leader.
Caution flag being shown for the 2nd time today. 60 laps complete as Satchworley spins the car number 4 around. Did not make contact. So we'll have more racing action as even the Winston Cup drivers enjoying this open wheel competition, as we hope you are. Be back.
The Suzuki GSX 1100G. Fly without excess baggage.
Hey, I like to save money as much as the next guy. But what are the odds that there's going to be a sale on the parts you need when your car breaks down? Baby, it's not going to happen. That's why I go to AutoZone. I mean, sure, you could wait around for a couple weeks and maybe beat their price by a few pennies someplace else. But I don't want to wait for a sale when I need a part. Now, what more could you ask for?
Common misconceptions about the mountain man. 3, that a mountain man's best friend is his horse. 2, that a mountain man only packs a 6-gun. And 1, that a mountain man only has one favorite, beer. Actually, mountain men are known to favor both smooth bush beer and easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and find out how a real mountain man preserves wildlife.
The Suzuki Bandit. Don't blink.
And we welcome you back to Martinsville, Virginia. Martinsville Speedway hosting the NASCAR Haynes 150 NASCAR modified event. Mike Stefanik, Doug Hevron, Reggie Ruggiero, Rick Fuller, and George Kent. 6 through 10, Pastriak, Leedy, George Brunhosel. The reigning champ, Jamie DeMano and Steve Park. And 11 through 15, Timmy Ayer, Tony Ferranti, Billy Middleton, Philip Smith, and Bob Park. Still waving the yellow flag. Apparently they're getting the cars lined up here once again. Did not want to restart them as of yet. Now, Brett, during this caution flag, you got to wonder, but some of the top runners made pit stops.
Well, that's exactly right. Jeff Fuller was making an awful strong run to the front and looked like he had one of the quicker cars on the racetrack, and he elected to pit on this yellow flag and change just the rear tires. Now, evidently, he felt like either the tire stagger, which is the difference in the two rear tire sizes, wasn't right, or wasn't suiting his needs as far as the rest of the race is concerned, and he's got 2 fresh tires on the back of that car.
You know, stagger is so critical. These aren't bias ply tires as opposed to the radials you see on the Winston Cup cars. There is Jeff Fuller, and he was being shown in the 7th position. Now, he won this race, of course, last year on ESPN, won the season opener here. He came in and changed both rear tires. Also coming in was a 6th place car of Tom Bowles, and he changed the right side tires. And, of course, you know, let's check in and see exactly what the strategy was in the Jeff Fuller pits where Benny Parsons is standing. Benny?
Jerry, I'm with crew chief Brad LaFontaine. Why did you stop, Brad?
Well, he's telling us the car's a little loose, and we brought him in for a pair of rear tires, and sure enough, the right rear is blistered on the car, so I think that's his whole problem. Hopefully the second set won't blister.
Did you make a chassis adjustment while you were in?
Not yet, but maybe the next time.
What about stagger? Did you change that? The 2 tires you put on?
We ended up dropping the stagger a little bit because of him being loose. You know, we figured maybe he had too much stagger, but that right rear is definitely blistered.
Okay, maybe some tire problems done here, Jerry.
Well, indeed, Brad LaFontaine, the crew chief there, and the Patty Banzold, the car owner for Jeff Fuller, 34-year-old driver who already a winner this year on the tour, and we'll see what can happen. You know, some of the drivers were very confident that a couple of years ago, you would never have made a stop on a 150-lap race because you would not have been able to get back to the field, but now it's different. It seems like there's a confidence level, a comfort level, you can pass, and so we'll watch for him to make that move.
Well, evidently, Jeff and the crew felt like if they were to continue with the tires on the car that they had, that they didn't have a shot at winning. So they felt like, hey, let's roll the dice and take a chance, put some good tires on this thing, and let's try to get back towards the front.
So again, Jeff Fuller has pitted for rear tires. Tom Bowles changed right side tires, and Wayne Anderson, the car number 16, changed rear tires, and we're getting set for green.
And Jerry, they had a double foul restart. The car number 3 moved up, Doug Hevron moved up on the outside, so that's something new as far as I'm concerned in the Winston Modified Series.
And that's given Reggie Ruggiero a shot at the inside of Doug Hevron, a little bit different approach to restarts, like you said, Ned, but Ruggiero gets really sideways off the 4 and loses that inside line that he was looking to try to get by Hevron.
They are still wheel-to-wheel back there in the over 4th spot, and George Kent and Rick Fuller put Kent in the car number 21, and now Fuller gets him by a car length up the backstretch. Rick Fuller in the car number 44. Now they're single file. Stefanik, Hevron, Ruggiero, Fuller, Kent, But the battle now behind Kemper, Jan Leedy, and Carl Pastriak. The car number 25 and 75, and Pastriak will take advantage there in turn 1.
It looks like that outside lane is a little bit better on the restarts. The guys that were down on the inside weren't able to complete the pass. Really quite surprising here at Martinsville that the outside lane is so good, and yet as we single file them out, the guys go right back to the inside trying to run that inside groove. I think the guy that's going to win this race or get up there to battle with Mike Stefanik is the guy that's going to have to go to the outside to make the pass.
And Brett, once they get back on that inside, as you said, they go back to that inside groove, and they're afraid to move out there because they're running so close together. If it don't work for them, they'll go to the back.
That's exactly right.
And we'll see Jeff Fuller back there working traffic. That's Frank Fleming in front of him in the car number 07. Frank, of course, the pole sitter in one of the Southern events run a couple of weeks ago over at Concord. Got a long way to go. There were 21 cars still on the lead lap when we went back to green just a couple of laps ago. So after making that pit stop, he's got a long way to go. Of course, he's got almost 80 laps to get there, but
he's going to try it on the outside.
Yeah, he's going to try it up high.
Yeah, you've got to be able to go where the other guy is, and it looks like everybody wants to run that inside lane, so you're going to have to go up on the outside to try to make the pass. And now we see him make an excellent move on the inside of Fleming, coming up out of the second turn on the inside. He made a crossover move, and looks like he's going to make it stick.
Well, maybe he just did a little setup thing there on Fleming. He faked him on the outside.
Showed him the outside and then took away the inside away from him.
Now he begins to make a move on Philip Smith, the car number 1, and they nearly come together. Those big 13-inch tires sticking out there, and Fuller thinks better of it, pulls away. He will try to make a move again on the inside, try to jump in that throttle, and he can't quite pull up, and you'll see if he can do it in turn 1 as Philip Smith knows. And a battle for second spot. Doug Hebron in the car number 3 has moved to the upside, to the high side of the track. We'll see if Reggie Ruggiero can just squeeze that Chevrolet Cavalier, and can't quite do it as Hebron covers the spot.
And now we see Ricky Fuller up on the outside of Ruggiero. Like Ned talked about, you make that chance to get out of line, and if it doesn't work, you jeopardize yourself, but he did get able to hold off Fuller coming out of the second turn.
Tell you, Ruggiero did a great job not to lose his position there. He gets an easy loss to Rick Fuller, as now Rick Fuller gets a charge from George Kent. Meanwhile, Mike Stefanik sitting up there just watching that mirror periodically, saying, you guys just go ahead and dice it up back there. I'm riding.
He knows that those guys making moves like that are slowly...
Trouble off of turn 2.
Randy Hedger spun off the second turn over there. Looked like he got a little bit of a help from the cars behind him.
Happened right in front of Jeff Fuller, who was coming up through the pack. Randy Hedger spins it back around, and we will see the caution flag for the 3rd time today. And let's watch Jeff Fuller and some of the cars having to try to get their cars slowed down in turn 2.
No, it looked like Hedger just lost it on his own over there coming off the corner. He must have broke traction coming up out of the corner, too much throttle, and the car just got away from him.
Just past the halfway mark, 77 laps complete. Make it 78 complete, 72 to go. So we have the Haynes 150 coming your way as Mike Stefanik still holding him off. More to come after this.
Brett Bodine, one tough driver, talks about Quaker State, one tough motor oil.
At North Wilkesboro, that Carolina asphalt was hot enough to fry our King Racing Buick. Our engine was running hot, 240 degrees, and I had to keep pushing it over 8,000 RPM. Now that's when you start worrying about your oil's viscosity breaking down. But when the going got tough, the same Quaker State you can buy right off the shelf was tough enough to get me to the finish line first.
Quaker State is one tough motor oil.
The same battery that has started 9 out of 10 NASCAR winners since 1977 also starts millions of cars all over America every day. Die Hard. More power when you need it most.
Fasten your seatbelt.
The best buddy cop movie of the year. Tough and gritty. It fires with a full clip. Clint Eastwood, Charlie Sheen, The Rookie. Look for it at your video store from Warner Home Video.
Welcome to Mountain Man 101. Let's begin. This is a mountain man. Notice his love of great natural beauty, his instinctive resourcefulness, his healthy respect for a fine pair of cowboy boots. However, the easiest way to identify a mountain man is to look at his hands, which will no doubt be holding a smooth bush beer or an easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and learn to live life as a man among men.
Green flag, and we've got contact in Martinsville as Carl Pastriak in the car number 75 gets involved. They just took the green flag. Looks like the car number 25 of Jan Leedy may have gotten tagged down toward turn 1. Heavy contact here as they came out of turn 4. Mike Stefanik brought the field down for the green flag, and they fanned out 3 wide.
Well, that was quite a hairy moment there as the lead car has got in trouble coming off the 4th turn, and really great moves by everybody else to miss them as they spun coming off the 4th turn.
Let's look again here and see if we can see exactly what may have happened.
It looked like there was contact between the 75 and the number 2 car as they were coming off for the restart, and everybody else just trying to avoid them.
Different angle here coming out of turn 4, and we'll see there's see Jeff Fuller as he rams the back of one car trying to get slowed down. You see Pastriak spinning there, and the car number 2, of course, was Jamie Tomeno.
And he got rammed going into turn 1 down there. He came almost to a stop, and I think Billy Middleton might have hit Jamie Tomeno.
Billy Middleton's car heavily damaged, and he has come to rest down there in turn 1 up against the wall.
Of course, it was not necessarily his fault either, Jerry, that he hit him in the back, because Tomeno was stopped in the middle of the racetrack down there, and there was heavy traffic coming down through there, and I don't think Middleton could have seen him as the cars were darting in and out, dodging him, and he just happened to be the one that was right there and hit him.
We thought that may have been Jan Leedy, and it was indeed Jamie Tomeno who was involved there. Tough break for the national champion. Well, you've seen a lot of racing action today, but how about tomorrow? 500 laps worth of racing action coming your way. Bob Jenkins and Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kerning, and yours truly will follow them all. Brett Bodine will be down in that race car tomorrow, that Quaker State Buick, for the Haynes 500 live at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Flag-to-flag coverage of our NASCAR Speed World Haynes 500. Be sure to tune in tomorrow, and we'll have even more action. As you know, what's happened the past couple of weeks at Bristol, Tennessee and North Wilkesboro, we should expect one barn burner tomorrow. Let's take one more look again as they're getting some of the cars hooked up here. Getting the car number 75 of Carl Pastriak. He had a great run going. We just talked about what a year he's had, and now he is it's over for today as they're picking that car up with a wrecker. Once again, coming out of turn 4.
Just looked like some contact was made over there, and the guys got a little crossed up, and Jamie then again run into the 75, and they both bounced off the inside and outside wall, and there's where Middleton made contact with Jamie again, getting into the first turn. It looked like Jamie's car just come off the wall, and he couldn't control it, and ended up being in the middle of the racetrack, and like you said, Ned, Billy Middleton just had nowhere to go.
Billy Middleton had nowhere to go. Top 15 here after 83 laps of the Haynes 150. Stefanik, Hebron, Ruggiero, Fuller, and Kent. Great modified racing action yet to come your way here. Don't go away.
Let me tell you about your chiropractor. How over 6 years were spent training before being licensed by the state. How through natural health care, without drugs or surgery, they deal with the cause of headaches, stomach problems, arm and leg pain, as well as back disorders. How 10 million patients like you are helped every year by doctors of chiropractic. But don't listen to me, listen to them.
A message from the New Hampshire Chiropractic Education Council. For more about chiropractic in your area, call 1-800-641-4900.
Cars are more than transportation. They always have been. At SAS Sandal, we've been supplying parts to people who love to work on cars and to those who work on cars for a living. For 58 years and into the future, SAS Sandal. For the car you drive now, we're featuring Gabriel Red Ryder gas shocks, offering you superior gas technology for increased performance and reliability, and precision engineered to give high performance without the high price. Right now, you can save 20% when you buy any Gabriel Red Ryder gas shock. SAS Sandal, car care for yesterday, tomorrow, and now.
If it happens in baseball, you'll see it on ESPN.
There he goes. He leaps. He makes the catch.
See Tuesday night doubleheaders, Wednesday night excitement, Friday night twin bills, and exclusive Sunday night action.
5-time batting champion Wade Boggs of the Red Sox. Hard-hitting Kirk Gibson of the Royals. Two of baseball's best hitters collide when the Red Sox beat the Royals. Live at 8 Eastern on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball.
Very anxious moments just a minute ago here at Martinsville. They were going to try to restart the race, and the cars were lining up for the restart in turn 3. And a couple of cars come together. Looks like some bumping and tapping over there, and one car spins, almost spins. That's Tom Bowles, 07 to Frank Fleming. And the car number 6 to the right of your screen, that's Gary Myers. His car was stalled, sitting right in the middle of the groove, and where it still sits there in turn 3. And the cars came down, took the green flag, and came whistling up the backstretch. But fortunately, Brett, they were able to get slowed down.
Well, I think their spotters all did an excellent job there. The pack was coming off the second turn full bore, and then we saw them all raising their hands up, signaling that the caution was out and there was trouble ahead. I'm sure that the spotters all informed them that there was still trouble over in the third turn, and let's get slowed down so we don't get in any trouble.
And there are the spotters up on top of that scoring stand. Tough break for Walnut Cove, North Carolina driver Gary Myers. His car number 6 apparently going to park it today. We'll be back with green flag racing action from Martinsville when we return.
The Suzuki GS 500E, our accelerated savings plan.
1985, 86, 87, 88, 89. For 6 straight years,
The full-size pickup from GMC Truck has retained more of its original value than any other in America. That's why sales of the Sierra are growing faster than any other full-size pickup. And we intend to keep it that way in 1991 with these new Sierras. And in 92, GMC Truck, it's not just a truck anymore, it's quality on the road.
In the war against termites, nobody packs more power than the exterminator, the Orkin Man. And now his termite control arsenal includes the exclusive Orkin Flow Meter for the most precise treatment available. Other methods may give too much or too little protection, but Orkin's precision treatment stops termites cold, guaranteed. The Orkin Man. One call destroys them all.
No matter how hard you play, you can't beat the financing you've been waiting for. Now at your Suzuki dealer.
We welcome you back to Martinsville, Virginia. This is the 5th stop on the $1.6 million NASCAR Winston Modified Tour for 1991. Certainly hope you're enjoying today's coverage of the Hayne 150. It's being brought to you by Quaker State. The Big Q is One Tough Motor Oil. By Wagner Power Painting, that's not just a whole lot faster, but a whole lot better. And by Orkin Termite and Pest Control. One call destroys them all. Getting set for more racing action. Let's check in with a driver who had a great run going, but is now standing, unfortunately, with Benny Parsons. Benny?
Carl Pastrick, what happened to your Lincoln?
Well, my Lincoln got a little aggressive on the restart, and I just flat out lost it. That's exactly what happened.
You're going to confess to losing it?
Yes, I did. I got in between shifts. I got on the throttle a little too hard, and the car was a little bit loose from the beginning, and it got a lot loose when I was alongside the guy, and I just flat out lost it, Benny.
Got all kinds of pieces laying down you. What are you trying to do?
Well, I'm trying to get the left front back on it so that we can go out and get some more points.
You are running for the championship this year.
Well, I want to try and run so I can be in the top 5 at the end of the season.
You can see all the work going on down here, Jerry.
Indeed, they are working on Carl Pastrick's car. He's currently 7th in the point standings, just to 17 points out of 6th spot. George Kent is currently in 6th. We mentioned Mike Stefanik leading the points. Doug Heveron in 2nd. Rick Fuller, then Tom Baldwin, who is not here this weekend. An accident at home, and Baldwin is home watching. We certainly miss Tom, but all of his aggressive driving style and his great performances over the years here at Martinsville Speedway. Reggie Ruggiero currently in 5th in the points. As we're getting set for green flag racing action. Green flag waves, 90 laps complete. Just 60 to go, and they will go double file into turn 1. They have double file restarts in modified racing up until lap 100, and then the last 50 laps it'll be single file. But I think Doug Heveron likes that double file format.
He sure does, Jerry. He's making a hard charge on that outside lane. Like we spoke earlier, he might be able to make it stick out there if he can just get a little bite off the corner. He's running Stefanik awfully tough.
Mike Stefanik has the inside advantage, the inside groove, and that has been the hot setup here to get the car hooked up off the corner, but they are still wheel to wheel up the backstretch. And Rick Fuller has a great seat trying to decide who he's going to follow.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He wants to be in the right lane at the right time to maybe take over the second spot from whoever isn't leading this race.
Here's Jan Lee now in to join the fray. That's the bright orange and white blue normal car number 25, as he now takes over the 4th spot.
There's Rick Fuller moved on the inside of Hebron. As Hebron slipped down in between 1 and 2, he made the strong move on the inside, and he's pushing Stefanik off the corner.
And Hebron nearly loses it trying to keep from running into the side of Rick Fuller, and he loses about a half a dozen spots. There is Doug Hebron in the car number 3.
Fellas, look at that 8 car. Fuller has come all the way back up to 6th after making a pit stop, and he has fresher rear tires. Don't know how much that'll help him, but he has done a good job of coming back up through the field.
He certainly has, Ned. You know, and these yellow flags have helped him gain that ground that he had lost by making that pit stop, and now he's in great shape sitting there in 6th spot. If only his tires are suited up to what he needs for this race car.
Of course, that's Jeff Fuller.
Very patient Jeff Fuller now made the pit stop and has worked his way back into the top 10, now being shown in the 8th position. Mike Stefanik now pulls ahead by a couple of car lengths. Behind him, Rick Fuller. That's Jeff's younger brother. Rick is 30 years old. Jeff is 34. Behind him, Jan Leedy. Beautiful race car at car number 25 for Jan Leedy, and he tries to make a move on Rick Fuller. Can't quite do it. In 4th spot is Reggie Ruggiero. 5th is George Kent. And back in 6th now being shown is the Jeff Fuller car number 8.
And he's just looking for some running room. The car number 3 that we saw on the right of the screen, of course, that is Doug Hebron. He is having problems. That car not handling as well now as it was. He made one other slip and dropped back, but now he's beginning to move up a little bit again.
We see Jeff Fuller there behind George Kent in the 21 car. Fuller's trying to make that outside lane work. He's giving it a shot every time they go into these corners, trying to find something out there that he can get a hold of.
Well, now he can afford to do that now because he had a little bit of breathing room behind him because of the slip that Doug Hebron had made. But now Hebron is moving back up closely. He's going to have to protect that position if he gets any closer.
Steve Park in the car number 77. That's behind the car number 3. There's the car number 8 of Jeff Fuller. Behind him, Doug Hebron. And there's Steve Park in the car number 77, the white car with the orange numeral 77 on the side.
And he has been all over the back bumper of Hebron.
100 laps complete, 50 to go. 2/3 of the way through this Haynes 150. Mike Stefanik has headed all his way thus far. What a great beginning in 1991. 2 wins in the first 4 starts. Trying to make it 3 out of 5. I got to believe in these final 50 laps, if he's going to win it, he is going to earn it.
That's for sure. You know, the guys are really starting to put the pressure on him up towards the front, and it's going to be a tight finish, I'll guarantee you. Steve Park really putting the bumper to old Doug Hebron there. He's wanting by Dougie awful bad, and he knows he's got a better race car than Doug, and he just wants to get up there and try to make a run for the front.
Front 2 cars, Mike Stefanik, Rick Fuller, and on almost, well, a little bit of tag there, a little bit of bumper, a little shoving up coming out of turn 4. Steve Park, 24 years of age. Doug Hebron at 30. Steve Park driving the car number 77. It's owned by Kurt Chase. That is the car that Mike McLaughlin has driven some in the past.
Boy, Jeff Fuller got awfully loose on the backstretch. He gathered it back in, but he lost a good bit of time. The 6th place car.
He might have came into a little bit of contact with that lap car that they just passed there, and had to check up on the throttle in the middle of the straightaway, and it's cost him some ground. He's fallen back some 6 car lengths to George Kent.
One car is spawned over in turn 2. The car number 0 having spawned.
That's Richie Gallup.
Richie Gallup from Agawam, Mass. In his Pontiac. Richie having his troubles over in turn 2, gets the car refired, jumps down off that concrete curbing. He won a tour event in 1990, but he will bring out caution flag for the 5th time today. Excuse me, 5 caution flags today, and we'll have the finale here. The final laps are racing for this Haynes 150 when we come back after this.
Basically, trucks are used for 2 reasons, hauling and towing. And for that, you need power. And the Sierra from GMC Truck has the most standard horsepower in its class, which gives you the hauling and towing strength you need.
Plus, for 6 straight years, the full-size pickup from GMC Truck has retained more of its original value than any other in America. Sierra, powerful and durable. GMC Truck, it's not just a truck anymore. It's quality on the road.
What you're about to see is a sim. Brushstrokes, runs, streaks. Now consider the new Wagner Power Painter. It has patented controls for precision. A convenient backpack for big jobs. It paints smoothly and evenly over cracks and tough surfaces. Why did we ruin this beauty? So you wouldn't ruin this one. Wagner, not just a whole lot faster, a whole lot better.
Field getting set. 1 lap. We'll be back to green flag racing action. Pontiac pace car leading the field. Let's take a look at the points as they currently stand here after 4 events. Mike Stefanik, 25 points ahead of Doug Hebron. Then Rick Fuller just another 10 points back. Tommy Baldwin, who's not here, will lose some ground. He gets 37 points out of 3rd. Back in 5th, Reggie Ruggiero. 6 through 10, George Kent, Carl Pastriak, and he will have it. They're trying to get his car fixed and back on the track. Wayne Anderson, Jeff Fuller, you saw a minute ago, making his charge, and Charlie Pastriak, who is a younger brother of Carl. Getting set for more green flag racing action, so some possible serious problems today.
See that we're at past the 100 lap mark, and now we're back to single file restarts. As you see, now that's a lap car up on the outside of Stefanik as we take the green flag.
That's Steve Park on the outside. Thank you, Brett. That indeed single file restarts here after the 100 lap mark, so that makes a big difference. And Stefanik able to breathe a little bit easier, knowing he doesn't have to have one of the other fast cars pull up beside him. Now the lap car in between he and the car number 44, Rick Fuller.
Steve Park trying to get his lap back. He knows he's got a good race car there, but he needs to get a shot to get his lap back. And I just believe they black flagged him here at the start-finish line.
I'm sure that Doug Hebron is glad to see him up there instead of on his back bumper. Doug might not have known that he was a lap down when we saw them running close together there before the caution.
Now he pulls down to the inside and is being waved at black flag as Rick Fuller and now Jan Leedy go by. We are being told that he did jump the start according to the NASCAR officials, and that's the reason for the black flag. Tough break for Steve Park.
Rick Fuller is really driving his car down into those corners. He's trying to make up all he can getting into the corner, trying to get back to that back bumper, that 15 car, to work him over a little bit. Stefanik, as you see, coming off the second turn, has got an awful lot of steam in that underneath the hood of that car, and he is able to pull away down the straightaway. But we see Fuller again diving back in, and he gives him a little shot in the middle of the corner.
And he made up about 3 car lengths to be able to do that. That has been Stefanik's weak spot all day, has been between turns 3 and 4. He just has to slow down to get the car righted to head off of that turn, but as you say, once he accelerates, boy, it takes off.
Rick Fuller is going to be a busy guy. We are told he is going to fly out of Martinsville after this race as soon as he get across the track and head up to do more racing. Brett, it's almost hard to believe he's going up to Ed Carroll's Riverside Park to race tonight up in Agawam, Mass, and they're going to take that race car to Winchester, New Hampshire, where he's going to run at Monadnock Speedway on Sunday. So a busy weekend for the open wheel modified competitors. And right now he's trying to pick up what could be one of 3 wins in the weekend.
That used to be the fun part of modified racing, Jerry. Back before they had the modified tour, when I competed up there, we would run from anywhere from 65 to 85 races a year, 3, sometimes 4 nights a week. And it's a tough schedule, but it's an awful lot of fun.
Indeed, these fellows really enjoy this kind of competition, and many tracks all across the country, particularly up in the northeastern areas, will be running their open wheel modified events tonight, and encourage many race fans to go out and watch some of this great open wheel NASCAR Winston action.
We see Jan Leedy now tucked up on the back of Rick Fuller and Reggie Ruggiero there also. Looks like Fuller maybe has used his car up a little bit, making those hard dives down into the corner, maybe losing the brakes a little bit, or the tires are going away. He had to try to make all his ground up in the corners, and sometimes that will just flat wear your race car out.
Many of you fans may remember Jan Leedy, the 31-year-old driver from Williamson, New York. He has won a couple of times on ESPN from our Wilkesboro coverage. And there's Rusty Wallace as he is watching these great open-wheel modified chauffeurs. Lots of racing action yet to come your way. It's Mike Stefanik holding off Rick Fuller, Jan Leedy, and company. Laps winding down. Don't go away. More racing after this.
What you're about to see is a sim. Brushstrokes, runs, streaks. Now consider the new Wagner Power Painter. It has patented controls for precision. A convenient backpack for big jobs. It paints smoothly and evenly over cracks and tough surfaces. Why did we ruin this beauty? So you wouldn't ruin this one. Wagner, not just a whole lot faster, a whole lot better.
All right, thanks very much. Well, we got racing of another kind here in Philadelphia. We'll be at Franklin Field for the 97th renewal of the Penn Relays. 13,000 athletes, some 40,000 fans. And of those 13,000 athletes, the focus of attention really will be on two. Rocket Ismail will be running, not with a football in his hand, mind you, but in a sprint today. And so, too, will Carl Lewis, the world record holder in just about everything. Long jump and 100 meters. And we will be having him in a relay event as well. So we got racing when your racing's done. As they say in your sport, guys, step on it.
And we'll have more from those Penn Relays at Franklin Field up in Philadelphia at the conclusion of today's Haynes 150. But meanwhile, laps are winding down here. We've got a good one on hand for you. Mike Stefanik still showing the way, about a 3-car length separation. Now make it 2. As one car having a little trouble. Looks like the effort of George Brunhosel. Cutting a tire. He brings the car down pit road to car number 28. Brunhosel will get a pit stop, which will cost him some valuable time under the green flag.
And Jerry, just as we were going to break, the 7th place car of Tony Ferranti had some engine problems. Apparently, a lot of smoke came from his car. He's in the pits on the backstretch.
See if we can see, Brett, what might have happened to Brunhosel here just moments ago.
Oh, they went in the corner, and it looked like the 99 car jacked up a little bit, trying to miss the car in front of him, and Brunhosel just ran into him with the right front tire and cut it down. Unfortunate break. It really wasn't anybody's fault. He just happened to rub the tire and cut it down. Tough break for George Brunhosel.
Brunhosel, a 37-year-old driver, driving a Pontiac. Took some time off from the tour, and only his second full year back on the NASCAR Modified Tour. That car back underway, and back up front, Mike Stefanik in the car number 15. Pulling away now a little bit from Rick Fuller. Now
look at Fuller go back in on those corner turns. Boy, he dives into that third turn.
Here's the battle, George Kent and Jeff Fuller.
That's the battle for 5th and 6th. And Jeff Fuller's really throwing that car around in these corners, trying to get by George Kent.
George had that right front tire up there on the left rear tire a couple of times, Brett, but he just can't quite get the traction he needs coming off the turn.
Some of the drivers out of the race here, as you see there on the screen. Gary Myers and Philip Smith, the last 2 to retire. 7 cars have retired of the 34 original starters. George Kent driving the car number 21, the car that's owned by 54-year-old Art Berry. Somewhat of a legend in modified racing himself as a car owner over the years.
The last race I won in modified racing was driving the car for Art Berry in the 21, and it was right here at Martinsville.
Well, indeed. He had some drivers like Greg Sachs, of course, Brett Iron, George Summers. How about Bobby Santos, some of the people who have run so well for so long for Art Berry. And, of course, here's Mike Stefanik. Lots of heavy traffic, and Stefanik will have to pick his way through that. Some of the lap cars in front of him. 00, Roger Hill is there.
Stefanik's car is able to work that outside lane, and this lap traffic is actually playing into his hand a little bit. He's able to run up on that outside and past these lap cars where the 44 of Rick Fuller and the 25 of Jan Leedy have been running a little bit more lower line in the corners, and they're not able to just jump around the outside of the lap cars. As we see Leedy make a move on the inside of Fuller because of that fact. He couldn't get around the outside of that lap car.
Leedy will have to fall back in single file behind the 00 of Roger Hill that's there. One was slowing. One car spins. It's Jeff Fuller up in turn 4. He's on the grass and brings the car down off the curb, and the car is stalled. There is Jeff Fuller. Looked like the car's just got out of shape. He gathered it back in, and it jumped across that concrete barrier. Now he gets the car refired, and Jeff Fuller was being shown in the 5th place. Let's check again now as we can see possibly what may have happened to Jeff Fuller going into turn 3. Dives down to turn 3, and he gets a little help.
Little help from Richie Gallup there as they get into the 3rd turn. I don't know if Richie just misjudged getting in the corner or what happened there, but unfortunately Fuller got spun.
Just about 18 laps to go here, and that will cost Jeff Fuller any chance, almost any chance he may have had at a victory, because he lost a lot of time. Did not lose a lap there in the pits, was being shown back in the 5th place. Caution now being shown to the field for the 6th time today here in the Haynes 150. NASCAR Winston Modified Racing at its best. Mike Stefanik driving the car number 15. The 1989 NASCAR Modified National Champion. They are working on the Jeff Fuller car, and a crew now jacking it up to check the tires where he came across that curbing. Reminder again, track and field coming your way at the conclusion of this. The Penn Relays from Franklin Field in Philadelphia. Track and field coming your way after our speed roll coverage of the Haynes 150. Mike Stefanik, current point leader, trying to pick up his 3rd win in just 5 starts in 1991. He came back to finish 2nd in the points last year after such a disastrous start to the season. The winningest driver on the NASCAR Modified Tour of a year ago, 5 wins, but just couldn't quite catch Jamie the Jet. Jamie Tomeno, a 2-time most popular driver, and that had to be a popular win for Jamie Tomeno winning that championship.
They're holding the 8 car, Jerry, in the pits. Apparently, the NASCAR officials felt that he could have come on, but he stopped up there, and the caution came out, so they're going to hold him a lap in the pits.
Tough break for Jeff Fuller. I guess they're saying that maybe he may have tried to stop to bring the yellow flag out, and they...
Well, he indeed did stop. Once he got off the grass, he stopped on the racetrack, and then almost immediately, once the caution came out, he, as you said, got the car fired. We don't know if he was running or not at that point, but anyway, he took off and stayed in the lead lap, but now he is a lap down.
Evidently, the NASCAR officials felt the car was running and was able to continue.
No, he wouldn't do that now, would he, guys? In any event, he's back at the tail of the field, and the green flag flies, and Mike Stefanik will lead him down. Rick Fuller in pursuit, as is Chan Leedy, Reggie Ruggiero, and George Kent. At the top 5 as they head to turn 2.
With 15 laps to go, Mike Stefanik is kind of had this race go his way, and if Fuller could get up there and put some pressure on him, maybe we could see something change. But Stefanik's run an excellent race, very steady, knew what he had to do with the race car he's got. He's just got 14 laps left now to go to make it to victory lane.
And they're mixing up back there for 4th and 5th as George Kent gets serious back there on the rear deck of Reggie Ruggiero. George Kent, a 3-time winner at Martinsville Speedway, the veteran driver. And that car number 21, they come at you at 125 miles an hour. As you heard Brett say, they slow down to about 90 miles an hour in the corner, hard on that brake pedal, and then jump back in that throttle. 364 cubic inch engines pulling almost 600 horsepower on these 2,600-pound ground rockets, they call. And they certainly are exciting.
George Kent really working over the back of Reggie Ruggiero. He wants to take that 4th spot over real bad.
Reggie Ruggiero, the winningest driver in the 7-year history of this tour. Next time by, it'll be 10 laps to go, and these drivers realize that 10 laps is not a lot of time for one of these cars, as wide as they are, to try to get to the pass. Now, Winston Cup car is only about 60.5 inches wide. These cars are 84 inches wide. They're almost 2 feet wider because of the wide tires than the Winston Cup cars you see running on our Sunday speed roll show. So it makes it a little tougher for these guys to be able to get enough room to get that edge and get a pass.
It certainly does, and especially knowing that those tires are sticking out there, that you can jump a wheel very easy and get yourself in big trouble, where with a Winston Cup car you can rub a fender and just glance off.
Of course, you hardly ever see the Winston Cup cars do that.
That's very rarely, right, Ned?
For the last 2 weeks. Oh, action here.
And Tom Bowles is caught in behind the car 00 of Roger Hill, and he was trying to make his way back up. He was being shown in the 10th spot. The car number 99 right there, Timmy Ayer, is being shown now in 10th. Behind him is car number 07 of Frank Fleming. Starting to turn the wick up a little bit here as the laps are winding down. It'll be 7 to go this time by.
Fleming making a move on the inside of air going into 3. Doesn't quite have enough to get by.
Jan Leedy is slowed significantly in the front stretch. He was being shown as the third-place car. What a tough break for Jan Leedy.
Oh, there's trouble down in turn 1.
Timmy Ayer hard into the outside wall. And Richie Gallup spins.
And Timmy Ayer gets the car righted as we are being shown the caution flag once again at Martinsville Speedway. The car number 0, Richie Gallup, Agawam Mass driver, spins his Pontiac, gets it refired. There's Timmy Ayer.
Looks like the rear bumper and rear Nerf bar is shoved into the left rear tire of that car, and a lot of smoke off of the tire.
He and Frank Fleming might have gotten together as they went into that turn. We saw them racing very hard just before we went away to get on to Jan Leedy, and I think they might have touched going into turn 1.
Indeed, caution flag at Martinsville for the 7th time today. Remember, the Penn Relay is coming up just momentarily from Franklin Field in Philadelphia. At the conclusion of our Haynes 150 Speed World coverage, we appreciate you staying with us this afternoon. An early rain shower caused us somewhat of a delay. They canceled second round Winston Cup qualifying, and the modified event was delayed some 25 minutes. But again, a great job by Clay Earls and the fine NASCAR staff here at Martinsville Speedway to get the track dry, get this event underway. We are just 5 laps on the conclusion as the work continues now on the Timmy Ayer car. His car pitting over in the backstretch. The Pontiac Grand Prix has the field in tow, and Mike Stefanik showing the way. And there will be a lot of racing action yet to come your way this weekend. Tomorrow, the Haynes 500 live flag-to-flag coverage from Martinsville, Virginia. 500 laps on this half-mile track. Bob Jenkins, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, and yours truly set to bring all the racing action your way. Stay tuned. 4 laps to go. It's going to be a trophy dash, and what a great jump Stefanik got.
Boy, he sure did, Jerry. Tremendous jump on the restart from Rick Fuller, and trying to open that cushion up a little bit so he can breathe a little easier on these last 4 laps. George Kent looking to try to get by Reggie Ruggiero now for the 3rd position. As they go into the first turn, Kent had ideas of diving inside, but thought better of it as they enter the first turn.
Out of turn 2, up the backstretch. Stefanik, the leader, but the battle now for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and really back there for 3rd spot as George Kent gives Ruggiero a little bit of a shove. Those cars coming into contact, coming out of turn 4. 2 laps to go, and Kent is really going to try to make the move. Ruggiero covers the inside line, jumps back in the throttle, and that car number 69 and heads down the back straight.
Kent's going to make a try on the outside down here in 3 and 4. He knows Reggie's going to protect that inside. He's trying to outfox him. Show him the outside and maybe make a move on the inside with 1 lap to go.
White flag being given to Mike Stefanik. Mike Stefanik, 32 years of age, from West Greenwich, Rhode Island. The 1989 NASCAR national champion, trying to pick up his 3rd win in just 5 starts in 1991, will come out of turn 4, and Stefanik will take the win. Rick Fuller finishes 2nd, Ruggiero is 3rd, and a couple of cars spin here. Tom Bowles spins, and they just get by. Great move by Jeff Fuller to get down away from the car as Tom Bowles will back his car number 76, that Eagle Talon, across the line. And hey, they say you got to finish, and he finished.
Yeah, he sure did.
Exciting modified racing action from Martinsville, Virginia. Just doesn't get any better than this. And there is Mike Stefanik. When it's your year, it is your year indeed. And the ADAP Auto Palace Pontiac of Mike Stefanik taking the win. Let's look again and see what might have happened. They're really challenging, Brett. What's went on here?
Well, Bowles was up on the outside of Frank Fleming trying to get a position away, and it looks like he just got away from him a little bit. And, you know, knowing that the start-finish line, that's the end of the race, he was trying to get across without losing as few spots as possible.
Let's take a look at our top 10 here in the final finish. Mike Stefanik, Rick Fuller, Reggie Ruggiero, George Kent, and Doug Hebron, 6 through 10. Satch Worley, Wayne Anderson, Frank Fleming, Tom Bowles, and S.J. Avancian. The Haynes 150 is history, and 32-year-old Mike Stefanik takes the win. Tomorrow, the Haynes 500 coming your way live from Martinsville, Virginia at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Stay tuned for the Penn Relays from Franklin Field in Philadelphia. For Benny Parsons and Brett Bodine and Ned Jarrett, I'm Jerry Punt saying so long from Martinsville.